And number two, Trump needs to purge the military of all the fake officers put in by Obama. Ask anybody in the military about what's running the military today. It looks like a college campus with all the Potemkin generals in there, most of whom have never been in combat, forcing men who have been in combat to go to their deaths or not even fight at all. Well, anyway, I want you to settle back and get ready for the story today because, well, I was reading over the weekend the story from an anonymous source that came to me by Twitter, and it was one we've talked about on this show a long time ago. In fact, it was 2011. I have the date right here, August 8th, 2011, strangely enough, almost August again. And you're going to hear my reaction to SEAL Team 6 helicopter being shot down. At the time, I brought up the question of why were all these SEAL Team members on the same old helicopter, and who should get the blame? Was it Obama or Leon Panetta? Do you remember him? The college professor who they made the Secretary of Defense? Where did old Panetta go? Where did he go? Like all of them, they disappear into a lucrative post-administration jobs. Well, I was reading this story, the killing of 38 of our Navy SEAL heroes in Afghanistan, and it's an account from a woman, an Air Force officer, by the way, a highly decorated Air Force officer, who broke her silence a few years ago about this incident that marked the deadliest attack on Navy SEALs in U.S. history. Did you hear what I just said? This is a very big story because it wasn't just one brave man killed, not just two brave men killed, but it was a bunch of them killed. And she claims that Obama's administration covered up what happened to 38 of our warriors in Afghanistan when the Chinook was sent to its fiery death. She says had it not been for Obama changing the rules of engagement of our military to protect radical Muslim terrorists, that our men would still be alive today. This is a great tragedy, and she has a name. Her name is retired Air Force Captain Joni Marquez. She is a hero. This woman should be brought to the White House and be given the Congressional Medal of Honor for blowing the whistle on this story, and this story needs to be told around the world. You see, she and her crew were working on that dark morning on their AC-130 gunship when they were summoned to conduct a mission she describes almost like a 9/11 type of a situation. There's a news source out there much better than what you get in the cable world called Circa. It's on the internet. And Circa reports the gunship was ordered to fly close-in air support above Afghanistan's dangerous Tangi Valley in Wardak province, assisting troops with the Army's 75th Ranger Regiment, who were sort of pinned down, being fired on by 8 heavily armed Taliban insurgents. So the Rangers called in for assault helicopters to engage the enemy hiding among the rocks. The air weapons team fired on the Taliban fighters, but not all of the insurgents, if you want to call them that, were killed as originally believed. In her first interview since this occurred, this great woman, Air Force Captain Joni Marquez, recounted what she witnessed that night as she was the fire control officer aboard the ship. Fire control officer doesn't mean she puts out fires. She is the one who determines when guns will be fired and on whom they will be fired. You get it? Well, her job that night was to ensure that the sensors on the weapons were aligned so that her crew could hone in on the terrorist targets. Marquez told Circa News, "I had the sensor operators immediately shift to the 8 insurgents the helicopters had killed, but there were 2 who were still alive." Guess what happens next? You'll find out on the Savage Nation.